And I think this hero against Phoenix, against Zeus, pretty good. You got Magnus as well to put power, and it's a hero that Miracle does play, so I would like to see it banned. Obviously, you can go for that Phantom Assassin here, and you only got one ban left, but the Zeus can at least deal Phantom Assassin until he gets that Black King bar.
Yeah. And, okay, 5-man, they're going... So again, it's something that's a bit more early game oriented, something that can really benefit from the Empower in a big way. Maybe just wanting to pick some sort of greedier carry themselves. We mentioned the Spectre. I think that'd be really good, A, because of the global strat, B, because any sort of healing onto a Spectre who eventually builds into these big mana items, the Skadi, things of that nature. Yeah. Sunray is going to be super effective for the Phoenix, so you've secured your late game if you get to that point, and I feel like Zeus can shove out relatively easily, so then all you need to do is, I mean, who knows, they might just go back to Zibbe and say, here's another Venomancer, you know? Well, Spectre.
And here it is, no Spectre ban.
Got banned as well, which is really smart. You don't really want to go up against the lifesteal with Spectre because you're just going to get chunked. And Spectre tends to build them, so it's very good for the lifesteal just be on top of her. It's really good against Phoenix. You don't really care. You can go for that Black King bar, third item or fourth item, as we have seen before in lifestealers. Very smart ban here. Yep. There's not that many heroes that looks really good.
With aggressive timings, that's really what you're looking for, right?
Yeah. So right now it's like Phantom Assassin is okay, but there's some timings where it's weak. It's not great until BKB obviously. You can kite it as well. Against Spectre it's not great either. So it leaves kind of heroes like Terrorblade, which is also terrible against Zeus. Good against Spectre. So you got these opening picks that kind of denies you options, right, as a carry player. And you need to go for certain options to actually beat out the Spectre as well later stage. I'm really worried for Nigma right now. So right now nothing really great for them.
I'm sure this is going to be RMN's hero here, right? You know, this is they usually pick that extra slot coming in for Nigma. This is probably going to be a Mind Control Magnus. So are we looking to lean towards something more along the lines of an Oracle here for Nigma, trying to enable more?
I mean, Venge is in the pool. It could just be a Venge, and it's a Viper, okay. Choosing to pick up Weeha's hero. I mean, obviously, good counter to the Spectre, which is nice. Very comfort lane for him. Going to go back for, well, it's probably not going to be a Wind Ranger now, so do they need to now switch this Zeus up as to where he's laning? That's the big issue.
See, the thing about Zeus versus Viper is both of them are going to farm. It doesn't really matter. It just really comes down to that position. You're going to be able to get those roaming rotations, Zeus gets runes. If Zeus gets lucky and get those arcane runes, those regen, it's going to be pretty easy for out the Viper as well as just play the lane.
They're lacking a little bit of lockdown. That's my main concern right now. And, you know, who knows? This could be a 4 Phoenix as well, and you might go a 5 that's Clockwork they've done a couple of times, but with a Spectre, not fantastic.
They've played Misery with a Lion as well.
Yeah.
So there's something a little more lockdown that Misery like
Wind Ranger as well, granted, like, yes, it's good against the Viper, but it's good against the Viper in lane as another bit, so probably
the other thing
not
as well to consider is lack of lockdown, but you need that lockdown as well for Nigma to actually that Spectre and the Nether Toxin. And one full staff will just negate Rubik's Lift, it's going to negate the RP, so right now there is a bit of lack of lockdown from both sides. It just comes down to who's going to be able to execute the early game and transition to the later stage, and who has the advantage of the later stage. And I'm wondering who picked for Nigma as a carry option here, because sure, you got that Viper that's going to be pretty ill in a way to the later stages, but we've seen it a few times now where the Spec just gets past those weakness phases when he gets like 3 items, the Skadi included, the 3rd item, and the Viper, you just can't keep him there with the Nether Toxin, and it just out snowballs, you just can't kill him anymore. So,
I don't know, like there's still the potential of something like a really want to take it to the late game, but then what does the Magnus really do, right? Like it's not going to be empowering anything to that cleave potential. Feeling like Luna, I guess, is still in the pool, which is kind of aggressive and is going to be able to take it to Spectre a little bit. You can hit the egg and still have the glaives bouncing around, which is nice, I suppose, but I don't know, I'm not feeling super confident.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Venge Luna against Spectres either. It's just can't utilize your range effectively against Haunt to begin with, and Zeus do damage from the back line. I do like the Sand King pick here. It's going to deny some of the carry options. Obviously, you don't want to carry here. You can't lane, you can't play it for the later stages.
5 seconds
Phantom Assassin, there's still that possibility that they go Phantom Assassin here. It's very reliant on actually playing well in the laning phase, because if you don't bully out the Sand King, it's going to get to the point where you're going to have to jungle. If you jungle, you're going to have to deal with Sand King just towers alive with the Sandstorm, as well just pushing out all the way up to your tier 2. They can combo with the Aghanims of the Zeus later on, like they did it with the Spirit Breaker before. It's pretty rough here. Just looking for...
Could we see maybe an audible coming in from Nigma and they play a little bit faster with something like an Ursa?
Sven.
Okay, so they're going to go for the Superman.
I was thinking maybe go for something like a Sven, but they can't really be cut out all that much.
Especially once he picks up the Ags, right? You can get on top of this Zeus very easily. If that Superman does connect with the Zeus, he's basically going to get 2 shots.
10
So
seconds
it's going to get to a situation where, you know, if they can provide enough space for this Sven, he gets 2-3
5
items,
seconds
Aghanims,
remaining.
BKB, +1.
Yeah.
He's going to be pretty
I have
scary.
faith in Chessie though. He
My
has
main
been on
concern-
point with this position.
Yeah, my main concern here is they're relying on the Sven Ags a lot right now. There's no one who can start fights unless this Magnus has a really good time and gets that early blink dagger. And you don't really want a Magnus to start fights as well. You want him to be the one judging the situation and getting that RP when he sees like 2 heroes at least clumping up.
So do you then think it's something like a 5 clock pair together with this?
If you play a position 5 clock, then you have a clock Sven
Yeah.
into Sandstorm
seconds
and a
remaining.
Phoenix there, which is really bad.
I'm just thinking any sort of initiation,
5
right, that
seconds
we could potentially
remaining.
have. I mean,
Dire
Black.
team
The other
back.
option is just ditching the idea of having Mind Control and Magnus, just setting this Magnus as a position 5 and just play the recovery mode with the Sven Magnus. Gonna suffer a little bit in the lane, but you can just rely on the jungle later on and allow Mind Control play a more aggressive hero that can actually start fights for them. And then that
10
way, it'll be a
seconds
lot easier
remaining.
for the Sven to actually play the mid to later stages of the game.
so what are you thinking
5
about in that
seconds
mindset?
remaining.
Like a Broombuster or something like that?
Something that's going to be well against Vector, and preferably some sort of table would.
Centaur then? Like that? Right. A little bit of something. I would have liked the Darks here.
Radiant
Enables them a little bit.
team
Obviously, it
back.
doesn't give them that team fight initiation
I
until he
don't
gets like
mind
flag,
Centaur.
Blink Ags or something like
Yeah, I don't mind Dark Zero all that much, actually.
Dire
smart
team
one,
pick.
Unfortunate. I mean, they're taking away the Venomancer again. Undying, huh?
Iron Man hero. He's been playing it a little bit. Gives them a little bit of lane emphasis. But lads, I'd imagine this is Iron Man's hero. I would hate to see a position 5 mag. I feel like they would get punished for
10
the grid.
seconds remaining.
Something like Disruptor, Oracle,
I want to see Snapfire for Nigma.
Snapfire. Okay.
5 seconds
I want to
remaining.
go for the leave the Magnus 5 because you know that lane's going to lose. Like lane, you use your position 3 to actually get an edge. So
Mind Control Snapfire.
Radiant
Possible.
team pick.
Try and get an early ag. So what are they going to pick up here? They're going to go with the Witch Doctor.
He played it well, I'll be
yeah,
honest.
he
like,
did. He
Yeah.
had very good impact, especially with the Maledicts in the later stages against the Spectre.
Maledict is very strong in this game against these here. They can abuse that quite a lot, especially with something like a Viper, who sometimes when people do get away from the Weehar Viper, they
10
are on.
seconds remaining.
It's funny how both teams have left the last pick for their
5
position
seconds
5s here,
remaining.
which
Well,
is
Play the Phoenix.
Potentially.
Play the
It could be
there's definitely
Misery
that
Phoenix.
possibility. But
Zibe.
right now, you know the lanes here. You can do Sanking with the Phoenix here. That's going to do pretty well against the Venom, and you can play a position 5 that's going to do very well against the Magnus Rubik. I believe he had a lot of pressure off Spectre. Obviously, the strong laning heroes are gone.
You may now
Natures,
select your
okay.
hero.
Pilo die, Nature's Prof.
A lot of tempo, a lot of
I don't know, they've thrown it around a little bit. I'm going to wait until we see who's actually
yeah.
playing
Chess is
what.
going to be playing the niches here.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Ooh,
So
so
taking a little bit more aggressive, you obviously
Four
not
Zeus?
wanting to lane the Zeus in. Yeah, 4 Zeus seems like the 5
So 5 Zeus. All right. Pi, you are exceeding my expectations, my friend. You are really going above and beyond with these position 5s right now. I'm impressed. You know, Paladai, as they said in the interview, he used to be coined as one of the best players in the world, so before he even started playing Dota. So let's see if he can continue that trend here, lads. But what are we thinking? These drafts, you guys are a bit iffy, a bit wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Matt's been pretty garbage when it comes to prediction.
Alright,
Let's see if
you
he
predict
last
first,
one.
and I'll go opposite.
For the Nigma ones, I have been garbage.
Yes, you have.
Overall, I've been pretty good.
Just tell me your prediction.
10 seconds remaining.
Come on, Matt. I need a name.
I'll just be the opposite. So
5 seconds
Well,
remaining.
I'm going to go 5 men. I would hate to see them bow out of the tournament off a game 2 like that, where they just didn't.
Alright, Nigma then.
You're going to go with Nigma?
I'm gonna go opposite.
Alright, so it seems like everybody here is just going to try and go the opposite way to see what Matt is doing, because most of the time he's wrong here. So if that is the case, then Nigma will be taking this game number 3. So we're going to leave our casters one more time. It's going to be our boys. It's going to be Gareth and the cop.
Yeah, thanks guys. Here we are, game 3 draft, all done and dusted. Lacoste, the panel have been cursing teams left and right, so it's nice to see they're going to go for a bit of a spread there and go 50-50 to see what's actually going to happen. Are you leaning one way or another here for game 3?
I like how Nigma drafted. I think they're playing their comfortable heroes. GH and Rubik, always pleasure to watch. Mind Control also had a great performance in the previous game. Miha on his signature hero. They will have break against Spectre, so no one needs to get that silver edge. It's a very costly item, but still feels like a very easy to execute lineup coming out from Nigma, I would say. But also, I don't think 5-man can recover from what happened in game number 2. I think that was a huge loss for them, where they lost the first Roshan, did not pick up Aegis, and it got into their heads.
Yeah, I was looking for a segue there between going for the break against Spectre and having their will broken by the Spectre in that game too. And Ace, unfortunately, leaving the Aegis inside the pit and allowing Nigma to have a pretty spectacular comeback to tie things up 1 apiece as we get ourselves into game 3 of this series. It is do or die, as we like to say, as after a loss here. Ourselves laning stage proper. Misery Phoenix heading up towards the top. We've got a Chessie Prophet there in towards the mid lane, and that's moved Pylai Die onto this support Zeus with Zibe the Sand King. Ace on that Spectre once again down in the bottom lane. On Team Nigma, GH, you mentioned on the Viper and Mind Control. He's going to be up top on the Magnus, in fact. So a lot of lane swaps from Team Nigma.
Yeah, I think they swapped their lanes accordingly in game number 2, which gave Faceless Void to have a great time in the laning stage. Also, Mind Control got much more than he would on that bottom lane, allowing him to get like bottle mana boots, the classic standard stuff that you buy on your offlane Magnus, and to go for a Blink Dagger. So good timing on a Blink Dagger, even though he was playing the mid lane, which we usually don't see on mid Magnuses.
Yeah, no Echo Saber or anything like that. Blink into pipe, into selling the pipe for Boot to travel, to TP, to finish the game. Ace's Spectre gets scouted out, but he's already sitting behind his tier 1, safe and sound. Nigma not going to be giving up on this, though. They are prepping for an aggressive move with that Dire Observer Ward scouting Ace perfectly. He's now stranded between tier 1 and tier 2, so they start with a stun. Sven in. Maledict there, and a lift from GH drags him away from the tree line. He's trying to escape. With the Maledict on him, though, he's ticking. He's dropping. Will he die, though? Oh,
he's going to be fine.
He's just fine. 20 HP left. Yeah. But a sad start for Spectre.
Pylai Die has healing salve, but they might zone him out. It's also a spell that you don't want to have on your position for Rubik, Telekinesis. Gotta kill there, it's worth it, but right now, like, you need to leech XP and try to get yourself to level 2.
Of that creep wave and drag it around, but he's being chased by 2 supports.
Ace playing position 4 right now.
Wrong. Ace is not having a good time, is he? That is some really, really sad stuff. Spectre doesn't even keep the creep wave on her. Back up on the bottom lane where Sven is holding lane equilibrium just outside of his tier 1. A lot of focus on this bot lane, but that's, Nigma's game plan. Shut down a Spectre, force the TP from Zeus to come back to his tier 1.
I don't think Zeus can do that much. It's the position 5 Zeus with very low mana, also not having Lightning Bolt. Instead, he has Arc Lightning, and now they are putting some extra heroes on the bottom lane.
Yeah, they feel the need to bring Misery down here. Phoenix is level 2. But the creep wave just being held so far up. Very kind of high tide situation here.
It will push. There's no side camp for them to pull the creeps. At least Ace will get some XP. Still sitting at 0 CS.
Yikes. Quickly looking into the other lanes, Viper dominating mid lane, doubling up the CS of Chessie's Prophet, who has already been forced to TP back home several times just to get away from these poison attacks from Viper. So Wee's having a crack in time mid lane. Oh, they cask bottom. They catch him mid-dive. Misery can't escape now. He's being tapped by the Maledict. And Miracle's going.
He wanted to get the first blood for himself.
Oh, he's waiting so the Maledict doesn't steal it. Is that what Miracle was doing?
Radiant's middle
Yep.
tower is under
Clever
attack.
boy.
Ace got 2 CS, 3 CS. This is
Oh.
actually hype.
4.
4.
Oh, can you get a 5th one? They're going to deny the creep. Oh, Miracle with a big deny on the tower. Stuns him. Make sure he doesn't get that range creep. Or 5 CS Lacoste.
When you're in this kind of position, you can't allow yourself to miss any of the last hits, the free ones.
Yeah, you know, every little helps. And Paladai not helping
Paladai
with the
also
Arc
helps.
Lightning. Oh, they're going to go on him. Cask, stun, Maledict there, lift and drag back and whack him away. Spectre forced to pop the stick.
She's
Might just
fine.
be all right. Miracle taking a lot of
Legion will
damage
kick
though.
in. They stack the stuns. Sven and Rubik, they did not know who's gonna go first. Mid lane working really well for Viper. That's why I was worried about this Nature's Prophet pick, where he doesn't really pressure the Viper, and with just 1 point in Nether Toxin, these Treants don't do that much. Pushing out the waves constantly. How's top doing? Mind control, decent CS, 16-1. Zibit, 25 and 11. Zibit, the biggest winner of the laning stage so far. Zeus dropping low.
There he goes. Bottom lane. There's some catastrophic disaster level stuff now for 5 men. And up towards top, it looks like Misery was diving to look for the courier. Doesn't find it. Like you were mentioning, Sanking up against a melee hero with Caustic and the Burrow Strike. He's able to do just fine up there. But every lane is a win or at least a draw here for Team Nigma.
That should help.
I like how Misery
Top tower
showed on the
is under
bottom
attack.
lane, gave away a kill, and then like, screw it guys, I'm not feeding anything more on the bottom. Good luck to you. I'll just deal with them a bit later. Nature's Prophet, once he hits level 6 with the Rat of Nature, they should try to make an aggressive move on the side lane.
Well, they're trying to pick off GH bottom. Paladai out of mana though, can't go for the finish.
I'll dig that.
And I'm just wondering, what's the reason do you reckon the 5 men didn't swap their lanes? You know, why not move Ace up the top, walk him up there?
They could, but you need to walk. You can't really TP because they will do the same thing. Even if they, TP'd him to the top lane, he would still get like 1, 2, 3 CS while they're TPing Zeus.
Bye-bye,
the
Paladai.
mini-
Miracles there, helped out by RMN to secure the kill. Paladai does his job though, gives away his life so Ace may survive. Stay on the lane to get that solo experience and maybe a little bit more farm. We, in the mid lane, hasted, chasing, in onto Chessie. Sprout is there as he throws the Viper Strike in. Chessie very low, but
Dire's
doesn't get
middle
the
tower
kill.
is under attack.
We out of mana. Maybe could have mangoed and wandered there to get some more poison attacks. A couple of stuns thrown onto Spectre. Damage returned in kind though, with a dagger and now the lightning coming through from Zeus.
If Nature's Prophet had 1 more CS, Rat of Nature would be available and they would definitely get at least 1 kill on the bottom lane.
Right, if not 2. That would have been super close. Now I'm interested to see where We goes. Dominated his lane. Gone back to the fountain to regen, and here we go. TP's bottom. We might start to see the Viper chasing Spectre around the map now to really shut Ace out of this match. Because Wee's arrival with a Stormhammer stun, catching out Ace with really nowhere to run. He's got to try and get back to the trees, but he's been slowed and taken out. Gone for 20 seconds.
I am surprised no one's tipping anyone. After that mistake in the previous game, now Ace is... he only died once, but they managed to hold his CS. He did not get a single last hit for like 3-4 minutes.
Isn't it bugged or like got removed from lobbies or something? I feel like no one's been tipping at all because it's not in the game anymore. I'm not sure. We can do some testing. Tip each other.
Sounds good. We're probably gonna talk about it, and at the end of the game, we're gonna forget about it and not do it.
Like everything we ever say, we'll test that after the game, and then we completely forget. Oh, DD rune for we now. Jesse's still sticking around mid, trying to gather up the little bits and crumbs of farm he can find. And that's all that Nigma are giving them. 5 men just looking for crumbs. Sanking's farming jungle to allow Phoenix to maybe get closer to level 6 at the top lane. Prophet under a dire observable. Net worth lead, though, actually in the hands of 5 men. Sand King and Prophet both doing exceptionally well. And now Pylai dying. Oh, gets the ward denied under his nose. Something that Pos 5, oh, jumping up top. Trying to find that Viper mid as well. And RMN with GH going to get closed off here by Chessie. Great Sprout blocks them out, and RMN is going to be a double kill for Chessie, looking for the triple. Can they finish off GH? There's no help from Sven or Magnus, and Ace Spectre is going to close the gap with a dagger for the final hit from Chessie to get the triple. And now Prophet back in the game.
This is exactly what they needed. They needed Nature's Prophet to land a big threat of nature, and they start playing aggressively. They got 3 kills. They also brought Zibek, because he's super farmed right now, and he should be the one making some moves around the map.
Well, they find Misery top. Again, Wee's rotation gets him a kill. And Mind Control was playing that top lane on very low HP for the past couple of minutes, baiting that Phoenix to stay around. Witch Doctor. No reveal. So Zibe inside that sandstorm. Perfectly fine. Until maybe he walks into the Viper. Zibe does have the backup of Chessie. They sprout Wee. He doesn't have any way to cut through the trees, so Sunray and Epicenter, and Wee completely isolated from the rest of his team. He's a little bit tanky, but there's enough heroes here from 5 men to clear him up.
He's gonna get killed in
Misery gonna die? He gets the trade.
I saw Zeus buying the tome, but you have Phoenix in your own team who's level 5. I think you need to give tome to Phoenix. Like, you're position 5, you're eventually gonna get the levels. The only thing that matters for you is to get level 6, and it's very important that your Phoenix gets more levels. Good catch on the top, as you mentioned, and also I want to see Sanking just getting up straight up Blink Dagger in this game because they lack initiation, and they also need some time for Spectre to recover. So you want to be creating space for your team. Big stack for Sanking.
Radiant's middle tower is under
huge.
attack.
He's already halfway towards that blink as well. But a catapult towards your mid tier 1 is a problem that needs addressing. And so Rubik will take that level 3 sandstorm. Gladly hold out on this mid lane if need be. But while all this is happening, while Sanking's farming, Prophet's getting triple kills, and a lot of focus here has been around that Viper and his rotations where he heads. There's the big old strengthening Sven. And gathering up neutral items. 2 drop at the same time as he clears through the ancient camp. And his net worth now starts to skyrocket.
If you're a Cord and you pick up Trusty Shovel and don't use it for the first time, you're not doing it correctly. Because you need to be greedy.
Well, top lane, telekinesis into Sandstorm. Chessie hit by the Maledict and dropping low, but the turnaround play from Zibe and Pylai died. They were waiting in the wings, just ready to strike. At 8, the second haunt of the game yet again, allowing 5 men to come into the fight with a numbers advantage. Get a good couple of kills there. It doesn't feel like 5 men are holding on anymore. It feels like they're actually building up enough strength to fight against Nigma.
Yeah, they're playing Dota. They're making moves around the map. Nature's Prophet getting closer to Orchid. Once they get that, there is no counterplay. There's not a single ability that can dispel it. Gotta buy a command the style. Sven might get like second item BKB in this game, but they have a lot of kill potential. That's why I would love to see Senkin getting a Blink Dagger
Dire's
instead.
top tower
What
is
he's
under
doing
attack.
right now, I think he's going for straight up Hood just to tank things up. But if he gets a Blink Dagger, he does have that instant initiation and can play with Tenacious Prophet.
For now, he's just letting
Radiant's
Spectre
middle
farm.
tower is under
And
attack.
Zeus show on that wave. Still coming to mid.
Dire's top tower
Yet again hold out, but the Rod of Atox revealed there from Viper. And a bit of an aggressive move by Zibe to TP so far forward is going to be paid for with his life. His freak removed, the tier 2 cleared up, and Nigma now in a much more dominant position.
Easy tier 1 tower and the pickup on Sanking.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah,
Dire's
they're trying to go
bottom
on
tower
GH,
is
but they
under
don't get the
attack.
body blocks. Born just behind the Rubik, and Witch Doctor TPing here on half HP. Risky maneuver. Trying to close the gap onto Pylite Eye. Looks like Magnus cancelling his TP as he thought about heading up to top. The Rod of Atos down bottom
Dire
does
are
catch
scared.
Misery, but he will TP out of here as quickly as he possibly can.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now it's the systematic play from Nigma. They got the tier 1 mid before the tier 1 bottom lane, which is a little unusual, but they'll come through and chop all the dominoes down one by one regardless. And that opens things up for Sven to be
Dire's
farming
top tower is
much,
under attack.
much more neutral
Radiant's
camps
bottom
down in the
tower
Radiant
is under
jungle.
attack. Radiant's bottom tower.
GH, they're trying to make another move with Nature's Prophet, but it's not enough. He has Burrow Strike, can get out of the Sprout, if not silenced. Also holding 2 tangos against the Nature's
Dire's
Prophet. We
top
also see
tower
position
is
4s and
under
5s, buying the Quelling Blade, but this is also a thing you can do.
Dire's top tower
Trying
is
to
falling.
Zippe, they've got Sven TPing. Telekinesis under the sentry, and now the Stormhammer landing. God's strength there, but the Burrow Strike out. You've been talking about it. Zippe's got this escape mechanism every day of the week.
That wasn't even close. That was not
Nope.
even 10% of the kill. Bag will finish his Blink Dagger in a second.
Fitting bounty. Bounty which my matriarch will prize.
And then we should see some smokes come out from Team Nigma. Already have one on the Witch Doctor ready to play with. GH can quite happily just stay up top lane. It's all been very calm for Ace after that initial laning stage disaster. Back into his Blade Mail, farming Ancients very quickly with it, as we've seen from these Spectres. Maxed out Dispersion and Dagger. TP top with the Thundergod's Wrath onto GH they go. Silence the Rubik and pick him off. A dominating streak for Chessie now, 4-0-3. After being dominated in lane by the Viper.
Pretty standard stuff. You know, global presence. And Henry doesn't even have boost.
Oh, this time the Sand King doesn't escape. They even RP him there to make sure he dies. He tried his darndest to burrow out and sandstorm away, but preemptive sentries sees a bit there.
Illusion.
Who doesn't have boots?
Radiant's bottom tower
Misery.
is under attack.
Trade up into Meteor Hammer. Just wants to, you know, play this type of a game where he's on a different side of the map, maybe die, fish for any kind of information, and clear the whole creep wave with the Meteor Hammer because he's lacking levels.
He's even got an Arcane Ring queued up. Not sure where he's going to find that. Maybe
It seems like Spylight Die stole everything from Misery in this game. Tome, Arcane Ring, you name it.
Radiant's bottom
Misery has
tower
become the
is under
position 5
attack.
now. Parlai Die has had a taste for farm and he likes it. Vector gets away from that mid lane as Weehar was definitely eyeing up a target there and waiting for his squad to back him up. Bottom lane, like the Zeus is just going to be clearing out these waves, making sure it's not a free tier 2. Nigma do start gathering and converging down there around the Sven. So it comes. 5 men. Sand King with a horn to scout and the TP forward finds the Viper. We turns with the Rod of Atos, down to half HP already. Trying to stun stuck in this Sandstorm, and the Supernova's there, and no one can touch it. The Viper's being annihilated by this Sand King, and they've got a bonus kill as well. All the way off to the right-hand side, they've taken down Twilight Dying, but the Sven needs help. He's got damage, but he doesn't have control. Now trapped inside the Sprout, he's being burnt down by the Sunray. Pops out his hand of Midas onto one of the trees, but Miracle's in a spot of bother here. He's going to try and turn and nearly kills off Jesse, to be fair. Dodging the shockwave, well played by the Prophet. Very close battle as they do jump in. Mind Control gets the Jesse Prophet.
Eventually should get a kill on Witch Doctor, but does not want to chase. He was afraid. Climb uphill, there was no vision. Rubik respawn, so he just says, I'm not going to go for it.
Regeneration.
Both of these teams really respecting each other's strengths. And it feels like we, now with 3 deaths in a row, starting to lose a bit of that mojo, loses momentum. Rod of Atos into Pipe for the Viper. So he's going to get a bit tankier. He's been out in the open. 5 men, very good at exploiting that. But it might be a good time now for Nigma, knowing that Haunt is down, Supernova's not available for another 30 seconds. Potentially here with this Blink RP ready for Mind Control, they can go and make a move off the back of a smoke.
BKB ready in 150 gold. I think it's time for them to make a smoke play as you suggested. But I don't see anyone holding a smoke at the moment.
Witch Doctor has one in backpack, but RMN is in or anything. They are just bodyguarding Sven. Viper holding out in the mid lane. There's a lot of room here for Prophet to shove out top, get his BKB. The Rod of Atos catches Pylodine middle. Zeus trying to make his retreat as safely as he can to the high
Dire
ground.
structures are fortified. Dire's top
Tanking at the
tower
moment,
is under
9
attack.
slotted, actually 10 slotted. Bring a Blink Dagger. Needs to get rid of a couple of the items. Blink Dagger is ready, so that means it's going to be much easier for him to make a good initiation. You don't necessarily need to go in and use the epicenter. Most of the time, your job is to Blink Dagger in, just borrow strike, try to reset and go to the epicenter after that.
Try and line up your ravages.
Top tower is under attack.
Well, here is that move from Nigma. They are all bottom, wanting that tier 2. Sentry on the edge, but Zibe in a very good position in the trees here will keep Sandstorm going. Potentially Nigma think about the dive. There it is, the Blink RP catching the Sand King. They need the chain stuns, and my goodness, do they have them? Thunder God's Wrath. It's gonna be used by Pylodine, not entirely sure for what reason.
Just asserting dominance. If you attack us, we will use this ulti.
Tit for tat. You kill our Sand King, we'll do a bit of damage to you.
And that's a freebie tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. Same goes for the top.
It wasn't a freebie top. GH was, I don't know, a fraction of a second away from denying it. The right click was very close as Misery gets hit by the Rod of Atos, but Chessie with Ace. They both arrive with the Haunt and the TP. There's global presence onto Wing.
Good body block.
Viper. See ya, buddy, and now the Invis rune for Mind Control, but he's dusted up. They still do see him. Trying to track back behind the tier 1 tower, and they've revealed him. Skewer's back, but Ace is taken with him and gets the double kill as 5 men. Now the BKB from Chessie shown off, silencing RMN as they come in to defend their tier 1 mid with only a couple of heroes.
It's time to go Roche, but don't remember to pick up the Aegis this time.
Don't remember. Don't remember to pick it up.
That's what happened in game number 2.
It sure is. So let's pay close attention here. Roshan is at 4,000, 3,000 HP. He's about to die, and he's going to drop an item.
Literally chasing right now. Guys, is it in? He actually put the flares in instead of forget. Ding it out. Hey, it's ready.
Lacoste, is it in yet?
It is.
Very good. Powerful move by Ace, picking up the Aegis, and they've already killed off GH. Good stun on the Sand King. Onto the Sven from the Sand King, but he turns with his gold strength, whacks into Zibe and clears him up. The bug is down. A Spectre on the retreat. The BKB gold strength of Sven is a sight to behold. Still trying to catch up to her, but Ace is pretty speedy, and the Shadow Amulet there revealed by the dust. Pile die. He's going to get cleared up here by Wee from the low ground. Nigma defending inside their own jungle.
So yeah, Ace with Aegis in this one on level 16. He's super tanky, and even if Viper or Sven try to attack them, there's going to be some blade mail return damage, and if he pops it, he's also extremely tanky. Whenever I see Viper against Spectre, most of the time I see Spectres trying to build a BKB just to tank things up and have a way of not getting affected by that Nether Toxin. This will also do. Might consider getting BKB a bit after. They still have abilities, you know, that go through magic immunity. You have Viper Strike, you have Meg's RP.
Well, Nigma finally getting some use out of these smokes. RMN with the Holy Locket rush. Getting into Glimmer Cape next. Wee's going to TP to Outpost. They saw Chessie pushing top. Gonna make his way into the trees. I don't think they saw. All they did is they pinged him. They know where he is. So the skewer there. And Chessie BKB is gonna get cancelled out by the RP. They're coming in with the damage. The horns flying out. And in comes Ace looking to battle GH. Chessie's still alive. Cutting through the trees. He's dusted. He's running. He's sprinting away. Miracle will finally claim his life, but Ace is going wild onto Wee. Now the Aghanim Scepter from Miracle gets him on top of the Spectre. Bumps the strength and takes her out of the fight. 5 men. What have they got left? Sandy's being chopped into pieces! Slain where he stands, and the Malagond Ace will make short work of the Spectre. There's no Supernova, no Zeus, and nothing left for 5 men to give. Down to 1 man now, as 4 of them are all dead.
It's gonna be so much harder for them to take a fight. Sven just hit level 20, minus 5 seconds on a Stormhammer. I can see Ice Frog, you know, sitting in his office in Seattle, rubbing his hands, saying, "My finest creation. Taste the Sven with the Aghanim Scepter."
Yeah, feel the power of these talents. They're just so good. And 5 men. Do you think they were forced there to fight around the Nature's Prophet? Was it a call from Chessie saying, "Hey, come and battle with me"? Yeah.
They could have just left Chessie and choose a better fight, now that you see how the fight actually ended. And Spectre, like, she melts. If she's inside the Nether Toxin and they can keep her inside with the Rod of Atos and all these stuns, might even consider going back to that BKB. But then again, who's gonna take care of Sven? This is a problem with this type of a matchup where you want to itemize against the Viper, but you also need to itemize against the carrier you're playing against.
Yeah, you can't rely on Chessie sprouting him all the time in every fight either. Even though this Prophet's had a pretty good game, Sven has had an even better one. 19,000 net worth over on Miracle right now is absolutely huge. Monumental performance from him. 8-1 and 5, looking pretty good. All thanks to that early tri-lane where they safeguarded his farm from the very get-go. And they jump and skewer. Misery gets caught out. Does he have a chance to dive? He's walled up, the Death Ward's out, and the Supernova's forced. Stormhammer, the fallback's done! Beautiful! Ravage from Zibe! In comes the Prophet, but he has a BKB, so he is all stunned up. Now he turns it. Into that Stormhammer they go, but the RP from Mind Control, just as gorgeous as the Burrow Strike. And a triple kill comes through from Miracle, and in they go. They want the Rampage, they want the team wipe, they give it to Miracle. Come on, Ace, where is it? There's no Aegis over in the road, but you can't go pick that up from game 2. It's not there anymore. No, you can't. Run away, toss, in comes Sven, and the Rampage comes.
Looks like a very promising fight. Zibe landing a 4-man Burrow Strike with the Sandstorm, but there was no real follow-up. They also don't have anything that goes through magic immunity, so Sven can do whatever he wants in these team fights. He also built a Silver Edge, so there's another way to break the Spectre.
Good luck, Spectre.
40
seconds for Ace to respawn. Gonna need all the luck he can get. This game's starting to feel like a foregone conclusion, honestly. 8k net worth lead now for Nigma, as they do start to really accelerate into this mid-game. We can see it back, as Ace just gets hounded, chased down by this Sven. And of Midas, very nice. Keep that efficiency going, Miracle. He's on the offensive here. Look at him go. Who's he going to try? Oh, Zippe, is it? Hello. Where's the reveal? Dust from mind control. Forest Strike buys a second of respite. He's going to have to BKB here, maybe, Miracle. As the Haunt arriving. BKB, turn and fight, and he blows up Misery.
Still alive. Two-shotted.
What you want?
Do they have reveal?
Oh, they do see him. He does finally die. And now the Death Ward down as they try and focus down Ace. The Spectre's in trouble, drag him back into the Nether Toxin. The pings come out and Ace is down. They get one kill. 5 men, they remove Miracle. But the price they pay is substantial.
Once again, they almost got full team wipe just for killing the Miracle there. Who got the last
Radiant's
hit?
middle
Ace
tower is
actually
under
did,
attack.
so that's the best outcome for them actually. It's gonna be an easy 2 tower. Like the item progression coming out from Sanking is non-existent. He had such a great start, then bought a hood, now spinning on a Blink Dagger, and just a casual plate mail.
Radiant's
Like they
middle
need
tower has
their
fallen.
Blink Daggers, they need Lotus Orbs against Sven. The spell talent is insanely good. Can't Glimmer Cape, can't
Dire's
Yule
courier
Scepter.
has been
Not sure
killed.
why that's in the game, but
Dyer's courier has been killed.
It's pretty broken. These couriers get sniped out. Chessie making every sneaky little play and move that he's got on his book.
Are scanning.
Zeus doing a pretty good job trying to keep the ward coverage. That was limited here. As the vision from Nigma, it does extend over into the Radiant side of the map. There is Pylai Die just dewarding quickly. Or not. He's a bit scared, a bit spooky. Good blink away from Sanking, gets him away from the Viper's Rod of Atos. Things are stalled here. Spectre. 8,000 net worth behind the Sven.
The damage.
I had to do the maths like several. Oh, Pylai Die? Pylai Die? Oh, he's Glimmer Cape, so they can see him. They're diving tier 3s. Nigma getting the target they want, and they've got 4 heroes here to defend mind control as well. Even if he gets sprouted, I think he's just fine anyway. While Sven with a double damage rune. Oh, Ace, where are you going? Can you hide in the trees?
Price.
he's not gonna find him. But look at the itemization on Nigma's heroes. You have Witch Doctor with the Glimmer Cape and the Holy Locket, Voodoo Restoration, maxed out. You have Guardian
Zippe
Greaves
nearly
on
dying.
mag. Like you have the holy trinity of the items. You have Pipe, you have Guardian Greaves.
A decent there.
Zibit just deleted from the game.
Yeah, they chased him a little bit. There was some good juking from the Sand King, but they've also found the Spectre. RMN and Mind Control trying to pair up together, but they've kind of cocked that one up. The Skewer takes him away from the Death Ward, and now the Haunt with Amanda style allows Ace a little bit of a retreat, but he's got pathing issues. He went low ground and back to high ground, and that's allowed Nigma to catch up again. Skewered back into the Nether Toxin, and that's him done. Dead for 75 with buyback, but without Haunt.
Spectre did not buy a new item for 10
Radiant's
minutes.
middle tower is under attack.
He's saving 4,000 gold. Now, Nigma, not on your tier 3 towers. There's this pause.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
That's not knocking Lacoste, that's a battering ram as Sven diving for the Zeus, kills him off by the tier 4, the Supernova's finished off, and every team fight ulti ability or whatever you got for 5 men is just going down the drain. Nice stun, blink initiation, Sanking's in with the Thunder God's Wrath, and Sven just whacks him down into the grave from the speed under. Jesse does CT forward, Sven is still battling here, the Skewer back in, I think 5 men are just done. They can't fight into this. Spectre's chasing forward. Sanking wants a blink stun. He wants to Sven so badly, but Sven, he jumps to low ground with a Stormhammer. And Zippe, he's stuck here now. Viper,
Another
Witch Doctor,
stun
and the
is
Sven.
available.
They've got another stun to come as the dust
No
is
reveal.
not there. No reveal. Zippe, 2-man stun, but it's not enough damage. They've got the Rod of Atos, and there's Miracle continuing his mega kill streak.
Dyer's top
That
barracks
Guardian
has
Greaves
fallen.
keeping them alive for a very long time, providing them extra regen. And the Witch Doctor, man, Holy Locket is actually a decent item on a Witch Doctor. Sometimes if you get enough farm, even on Undying. Another casual double damage on Sven, who just
Radiant's
hit
middle
level
barracks is
25.
under attack.
Yeah, super casual. Backdoor regen, what's that? No idea, mate. Just gonna hit these buildings.
Radiant's middle
Crumble some
barracks has
structures, to be
fallen.
honest. Entire lane demolished. As Nigma head down south.
Radiant's middle
No buyback on Sand King or Phoenix.
Radiant's
Has one, but he's respawning in 10 seconds.
Radiant
And you'll be wanting to
structures are
utilize
fortified.
everything you've got at once, with that Hornet coming back up around the same time as the Furion respawns.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
It might just be one team fight left in the tank here for 5 men.
Are under attack.
They've got some tools to use though. Supernova level 2, back from Thunder God's Wrath ready in 20 seconds.
Radiant's bottom barracks
And
has
they will
fallen.
Two
have
set
that
of
Sand King.
racks gone, and that's a fake smoke.
A fake smoke?
I thought they're gonna use a fake smoke and come back, try to get a pick off on one of the targets that does not have a buyback, and you know, just end the game. Sven right now is pretty massive, even gets the quickening charm instead of a Mindbreaker to lower the cooldown on the stun. But while all this was happening, top lane got demolished by the Tenacious Prophet before he keep it out, the catapults, couple of treants.
Oh, they're using so
trouble.
much on G8. Forest Strike's gonna be there. Just about. That was a little close to comfort, but Zibe, he's on the money regardless. Yeah, top lane, barracks falling, at least it's something for 5 minutes. GH with a snappy buyback there. Zeus has already TP'd away. Won't find him. What they will find though is Roshan, because he's alive again.
Okay, let's check the Stormhammer cooldown. 4.3 seconds with Kane and quickening charm.
Radiant are scanning.
Who's he going to find? Chatty, be careful, buddy. Don't go down those steps. There are scary people down there. Yeah, he'll TP top. Good deep observer ward. Farms some jungle caps. They see him though. Star observer ward sees exactly where he is. They ping it out.
It could have been an easy rush for them, but they wanted to get a pick off first. 2 set of Raxes, and this is the smoke. It will enter the base lane that they already killed.
Oh, this is huge. Can they find... Oh, they see a send place down. Sven wants to go in. The Sand King gonna dodge it with a blink away, and now Miracle. Where's his BKB? He pops it a little late, half HP for the RP. There's Mind Control taking out Twilight Dies. Chessie does get hit by the big old Maledict. Massive theory circle. And Sven still holding on. Satanic gets hit by the Meteor Hammer though. In comes the Chainstones. No! Zibbing is lifted. GA saves the day. So now Miracle can turn and play Dota 2 as they'll cleave through Zibbing. Look for the Supernova now. The egg is gone and 5 men left stranded with only 2 heroes alive. Skewered back, Chessie's Prophet, and this is all they have left. The lonely Spectre. And even she won't last too long.
There it is. Double G's dropped in the old chat. Good performance, good showing from Nigma. I think what happened in game number 1 really affected 5 men and the way they played the game number 3.
Yeah, game 2 for sure. Definitely an issue for their morale and stuff like that. As Nigma showing that